Hey guys, it's Christy. Thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be kind of like an informative video about my Invisalign because as you can see, or maybe not because you're not supposed to see, I started Invisalign. So pardon my slight lisp that I have. I'm still like grasping the concept of saying my S's and my T's differently. I have to like speak slower and with extreme diction until I get used to them. I started them yesterday, so this is day 2. So this is the very beginning, and I can tell you as much as I know about it. And I know there are a lot of videos on Invisalign, but it's always helpful to see more and to see different kinds because a lot of people, their experiences are completely different. And here's what I can help you with that maybe other videos won't. I am a dental hygienist, and I am in the dental field. So I have either the basic understanding of how everything's working, because I have to explain it to patients, or I have the outlet and the opportunity to ask and find out and report back to you if you have any like questions like that. So let's just do a little quick backstory. I never had braces because my childhood dentist, I think, just didn't really refer for ortho. At least that's what my mom says when I ask her why I was never referred or never had braces. When I was younger, my younger sister, who is also a dental hygienist now today, she was the only one in my family that had braces, and it was because she really pushed for them. She really wanted them. She really pushed for them. She also knew at a really young age that she wanted to be in the dental field, so she was just like all about teeth, I guess. So she had braces and I did not. My back occlusion was a class 1, which is considered normal. There's class 1, 2, and 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. So I have 1, which is a normal bite. It all has to do with the way that your molars line up or your canines line up. So it's kind of confusing, but you don't really need to know. But mine was class 1, so there was no reason to fix my bite with orthodontics. It was mostly just aesthetics in the front, like some slightly crooked teeth. I hate this one, and crowding on the bottom. This one has prevented me from smiling in pictures. I always smile on this side if I can. Either like straightforward and try not to smile very much, or I smile this way. People always ask me why I never smile or why I don't show my teeth when I smile, but it's just because I don't like smiling. I try not to smile on this side or like to show this tooth. I also have this like ability to do that, and when I smile, my muscles tighten right there and cause my lip to lift right here to show my gums, and because of that, people notice, and it's like an eyesore to immediately just suddenly go to that tooth that's crooked. So that's always bothered me. I know it's not that big of a deal, but it bothers me, you know, and that's the important part of it and why I should do something about it. So I'm a dental hygienist. One of my doctors offers Invisalign, and I decided to take advantage of being able to do it. There are like basically 3 different types of like, I guess, wear times that she does. I shouldn't really say that because it all depends on each person, but there's like a fast 5 where there's 5 trays, and that's for very, very small tweaking and small movement. And then the fast 10, which is what I am doing, and then there's like the traditional longer extended time, like the full on anywhere from, I guess, 9 months to maybe 24 months of treatment. So I'm doing the fast 10. That's the only one I'm really going to be able to tell you like my personal experience with. But yeah. So I guess I'll just quickly show you things. I'm going to do videos like updates for every time I like switch a tray out and how things are going. I did take before pictures, and I'll probably end up when I'm all done doing like before pictures and after pictures and posting them on Instagram. So if you're interested in seeing that, follow me on Instagram. I'll link my, whatever it is, username below. But yeah, so I just want to quickly show you things. I don't want to get into too much detail. I went in and had a consultation and was asked what things I would like to change in my mouth, and I obviously mentioned number 10, which is my lateral incisor. I don't like how it's turned, and there's some slight little small stuff with my front teeth that I don't like. And then the crowding on the bottom. I also have some spaces in between some back teeth that could be tightened and moved together, but really this was all I cared about, and then the crowding on the bottom. So she took molds of my teeth, and we were hoping that I would qualify for the Fast 10. Sorry, I was like moving lip gloss around. I don't know if I apologize for my lisp, but I'm apologizing again in advance. Please don't make fun of me. So I took the molds, and she sent them off, and when my clin check came back, which was like the whole process, it said I qualified for the 10 trays, and was showing like a computer image of like the before and after in like a video form where it shows my teeth before and like the slow change to after, like with all of them moving, and then like a view of basically occlusal views. Occlusals are like the biting surfaces of your teeth, so it showed like an occlusal view of all my bottom teeth, an occlusal view of all my top teeth in this computer thing, and like how they were all gonna like line up. And I was really impressed at what they were going to be able to do in 10 trays. I only really cared about like some of these teeth in the front, but the fact that they're going to be able to change so much of my bite in the back and like just realign things, because some of my teeth tip in a little bit, just a little bit, but they're going to fix them so that they're straight. It's just amazing what all they were going to do, and like I was only requesting just some small things. So like I said, I qualified for 10 trays. You wear them for 2 weeks, and then you swap them out for your next set of trays. So 2 weeks each for each tray, 10 trays. It's 20 weeks. It's 5 months. And roughly 5 months. It's probably going to be about 5 or 6 months before I have them off. And then when I'm all done, I am going to have a permanent retainer. Actually, Invisalign makes 4 permanent retainers for me. And like 4 sets in case I lose them or whatever, and I will wear those at night. If I need any tweaking toward the end, we'll figure that out, like an extra tray, or like if they need to add little sections where they like punch out areas just to kind of like give your tooth an extra push with your last set of trays. We might do that, but that will be toward the end. So when I came back for to have my attachments put on, they etched them. They dry them off. They put an etch on that like creates a smooth surface and eliminates bacteria and etc. etc. And it's too complicated to really get into it, but they put a series of materials like a tooth colored matched bonding material. You know, when you get a tooth colored filling, that's essentially what they put on my tooth. It's going to be temporary and it will be removed when I'm all done, and those are called attachments. There's also things that are called buttons that you might hear about. Buttons are more clear or metal, and they are put on either on the lingual side or tongue side inside of your mouth, usually so that they're not seen, or they might occasionally put them on the outside. And those are usually for bands to go to like hold bands, almost like when you have braces, those bands. And those are, I don't need any of those. Those are for extra pulling and pushing in certain directions. But I do have attachments. I can show you them, what they look like. I have a couple. There's like 2 little bumps on this tooth, and then right over here you can see I have so I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then on the bottom I have 1 right here, and then 2, 3, and 4, and those are the only ones I have. So on my front teeth, I knew I was going to have one on this one. That one's the one they're trying to pull, so I just knew it. But I was hoping they weren't going to have to put any more toward the front. So my closest one to the front is on the bottom. Besides this one, it's on the bottom of my canine right here. But you can see they're little bumps. I will pull, I'm wondering which one I should pull out. I'll pull them out for you. Yeah, one thing I want to say is that it's helpful to have nails, like fingernails, to wedge underneath. Ew, sorry. So that's how easy it was to pull out. You kind of just like pull one side and peel over, and that's what it looks like. So if you can see these little buttons, I'm going to try and get closer. Sorry for my face. You can see the little tooth colored materials that are on there. Those are like little grips, and there's a little indentation in here, and those help grip basically my Invisalign to snap it in place. So you may have heard it snap. Okay, so that's pretty much that. I have a little case for my current trays that I'm using. When I swap out to my, because I got my second and third set of trays right now, that they gave me ahead of time because they trust me to do it on my own. When I go to my second set of trays, I have a red case for this first set of trays. So you always keep your previous set just in case you lose your current set. So that if you lose your current set, you wear your previous set. Or, you know, like if you lose the top of one, you're going to put in your previous one. Just because you have to go back and then they have to make you like the tray that you lost, basically. So they give you 2 trays. So I have to keep these in here. With Invisalign, you keep them in optimally 22 hours a day. So, I mean, the nice thing about it is that I can eat without having them in. I don't have to have braces. But yeah, I have to pop them out, eat, brush my teeth, floss, and put them back in. It makes it a little more challenging to eat because you have to plan. You have to keep a toothbrush and toothpaste with you and some dental floss with you all the time. I always have floss with me, but I never really carry a toothbrush and toothpaste, so that's a new thing for me. I'm a big flosser. Just being a hygienist, I'm just a big flosser, so that's not a big deal to me, and I'm pretty regular with my brushing anyway. But yeah, just planning on eating is a little bit of a change for me. Even just in the 2 days, I'm starting to see like this is kind of hard. It involves actual thinking and planning ahead of time, but it's nothing I can't handle. And it's nothing you can't handle if you're interested in it. So I got in it like a little box kit, and it came with my 2 trays, and it came with this giant information booklet on like a lot of different stuff, just in case you guys have like a question I may not be able to answer before I can get a hold of my doctor. I might be able to answer it with you from this little book, but I kind of know everything that I really need to know. I have like the bag for my previous trays, and then my next set, and like the start dates and stuff written on them. So I guess that's pretty much it for like the technical stuff. Now I can tell you quickly what my experience is so far. Immediately when they put them in, they I don't know if I went into like more of the detail on the buttons really quickly. So they like bond these buttons on with like a template to line them up where they're supposed to go, and then they put the actual trays in and pop the trays in, like after they take the template out. The template looks like this, only it's thinner, not as tight, not, you know, it's more bendable, flexible. It's just like shows exactly where you're supposed to put that bonding material and stuff like that. So that's just like a template for them to use. They keep that in case one of my buttons attachments falls off. They will be able to use that template and put it back on where they need to. So anyway, my experience. They were tight at first, and I actually had them placed during a shift at my work. I clocked out, went to across the room to my dental appointment, had them do everything, and then when I was done, I went right back to my room and clocked back in and had to see a patient right after that. So they were really tight. I could tell that I had somewhat of a lisp, but it's not much more than this. This is about the extent of it. I thought I was going to have much more of a lisp. I thought they were going to be a lot more bulky than they are. I thought I was going to feel the buttons more, or the attachments more, like the spots. Sorry, a lot of people call them buttons, and they're kind of the terms are kind of interchangeable, but there are a difference between the attachments and buttons. But if you hear me say one or the other, I'm referring to the same thing pretty much when I'm talking about myself. It's just like what slips out of my mouth. So I thought I was going to feel them more, and I didn't. I thought the attachments were going to feel really sharp when I take the trays out, because I've heard people say that like their lips and cheeks get sore, but it's not that kind of soreness. It's almost like muscle soreness, because you feel like you're, like, I don't know, overcompensating and trying to, I don't really know. It's just a weird feeling. And they're really like bumpy, and they just feel different. So that movement on your mouth kind of makes it a little bit irritated, but in a sense where, like, if you scratch one spot, or like if you've ever had someone like hold your hand or rub your hand in the same spot for a while, it starts to like irritate you. That's the kind of feeling that you get because there's something foreign touching your mouth and it just feels different and weird and almost irritating to you, but it's not actually sore or anything. But yeah, the attachments were not sharp. They don't bother me. The only time they do bother me is when I'm eating and I'm constantly like feeling like, ugh, I might have food in my mouth, but it's not. It's just those attachments because it feels like there's something on your tooth, you know? Yeah, so those attachments are going to stay on the whole time during my treatment. I'm pretty sure at this point they might remove them close to the end or, you know, as they see fit. I know some people, when they have them on the front teeth, as soon as they don't need them anymore, they will remove them and have them taken off so that you don't have to have those on there. Some of the patients that are doing Invisalign right now, one of the girls was really excited because she was getting her attachment installed off her two front teeth, so that was a big step for her, like, you know, as far as how she's going and how everything's coming along. But yeah, so they felt tight, and progressively throughout the day, oh my gosh, I'm going to start coughing. Can she pull through? Will she pull through? Sorry guys. I ate peanut butter again, and I'm allergic. I don't know why I do this to myself. What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. Progressively throughout the day, I could feel the tightness. It kind of feels like if you've ever whitened your teeth a little too much and you get that tooth sensitivity, that's what it feels like. I don't think they're doing a whole lot of movement on my very back molars, so those are the only ones that don't hurt me. But, excuse me, I would say the majority of my teeth kind of ache. They're achy every time I talk. You'd be surprised if something as simple as like that can feel like they're tightening. If you drink cold water, they feel like they're tightening. It's really interesting. Water is the only thing I can drink or eat, you know, with them in my mouth, or that I'm supposed to. I've heard of people eating with them in, but I'm not going to do that. I know you're not supposed to, so I'm not going to do that. They did hurt taking them out and putting them in last night when I took them out to brush and floss before I went to sleep. And, oh man, taking them out was like, I had to like take a minute and just like let the pain subside because they were so achy, and then I brushed and flossed and that hurt, and putting them back in was even worse. It hurt for like 30 minutes. It was just like a really strong ache. And then that kind of goes away. The longer that you wear them consistently, like in between taking them out and putting them in, the less you notice them and the less they bother you. So I almost don't even want to take them out and eat and put them back in because I know they're going to ache again when I put them back in. But it's a good thing to have them be aching and hurting because I know that they're turning, they're moving, they're doing something. It's not doing nothing. But when I take them out, I can like tap on my teeth and tell you like exactly which tooth is being moved because those are the ones that hurt the most. There are some that I'm like, oh yeah, that one doesn't hurt at all, and then I'll tap this one and it's like, ugh, that's painful. It's nothing too painful, nothing much more than I think traditional braces would do. And the nice thing about them is that if you need some like quick relief, you can take them out and just like be for 5 minutes if you need to and put them back in. But yeah, you're supposed to wear them for 22 out of the 24 hours a day. So I'm on day 2, and day 2 is already a little bit better. Still painful, but I think I'm kind of used to that achy feeling now that I know what it's like, and I don't think it's going to get a whole lot worse than what it is today. I think like last night was the hardest time, and maybe this morning, but it's like 7:30 at night right now, and it's not that bad, and I know that it's going to be probably better even tomorrow. So with each set of trays, they're doing a little bit more movement, and I should expect this kind of like achy pain for maybe like the first 1 to 3 days of each tray that I shift to, but I'll let you guys know as I go along, like with my updates, how I'm doing. I'll probably update you like a couple days into my second set of trays so I can tell you how that one's going. And each video won't be this long, but yeah, anyway. I hope this is helpful. If you guys have any questions immediately about it, feel free to leave them below. If you're interested in this, give it a thumbs up. If you're doing Invisalign, let me know how yours is going, and I just want to talk to people about it and just share the experience and discuss. Like I said, I know there's a lot of videos on Invisalign, but just being in the field, I kind of understand a little bit more about it, and I don't want to get into too much detail about it unless people ask the question, then I'll acknowledge it in another video. But I don't want to get into like scientifically a whole bunch of stuff that you don't care about, but like basically the cells that build and break down bone in your mouth and how that movement actually works. But anyway, again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video, and subscribe if you haven't, and again, thumbs up this video or thumbs it down and be a jerk, whatever. And like I said, I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.